can't miss that. That's an obvious gimme. All right.
Taxi rank.
Yeah. Another thing we're going to go over is rocks. So if you look over to Cap Golova, which is direct west, right? You'll notice those gray pointy things, which look like tiny mountains. That
You mean
refers.
east?
Oop, yep, I'm sorry. East. That's my bad. You'll see little tiny pointed mountain-looking things. That's the generic version of rock. You'll also see oblong diamonds and stuff like that. That's another way this map shows rocks, or an area which might have dispersed low-lying rocks and not as jagged. Okay. Another symbol is, you'll notice the lighthouse symbol at 3-5 on Cap Golova. All right. Just take note of that. It's just something you might want to keep in mind if you're looking at a map. All right, give me 1 second. I need to find one. Where's that? All right. Now, if you move from Camp Golova to the northwest, where it says Prigorodki, whatever. If you zoom in a lot,
Gorski. Yeah, whatever it is.
Prigorodki. Yeah, Prigorodki. Yeah, sure, that works. If you zoom in as far as you can on Prigorodki, you'll notice some almost translucent, almost not there lines. Those lines represent fences or some sort of small barrier like a wall, right? So if you're assaulting a position, you'll want to take note of that so you can see where possible entry points are, or depending on how you're equipped, possible breaching points, all right? Unfortunately, just the way this map is made, it doesn't specify what kind of barrier it is, but generally the darker it is, the more permanent it is, i.e. a wall or a fence, like a sheet metal fence or something. Like if you look to the little guardhouse that's at the intersection there, it's a much darker fence, so it might possibly be a sheet metal fence or a wall. Whereas around the factory complex, it's almost not there, so it might be one of those fences you could crawl under or something like that. All right, any questions so far? Okay, good to go. Obvious thing to see is water. That's going to be a big old blue spot on your map. Sometimes there are rivers and or lakes. Really low-lying water may not have anything in it. If you look to the southeast of Prigorodki, there's actually a small stream that moves to the ASR, but it's almost barely visible and only has hints of blue. So some of the small water like that may be fordable by vehicles. So if you're looking around and you see something like that, just keep an eye on it, because you may be able to use that as an egress point to places. Or if you're looking at a river, you might find a low-lying area where you might be able to ford through. All right. On these maps, bridges are generally shown up as just a continuation of the road. Although sometimes they do show up if you look in Chernogorsk. The train tracks cross a small stream, and you can see sometimes a bridge will show up as a kind of a brownish building. If y'all notice that, who doesn't see that?
Yep, got it.
Got it. Good. Excellent. All right. Let's see, what else do we need to go over? Towers. Let's see. Let me find a good tower for you.
There's one on Skeleton Island, the little island to the southeast.
Yeah, if you look at 134033, you'll see on Hill 72 the depiction for a tower, right? Sometimes that's not always a really tall tower. It might be one of those tiny radio towers. Yeah, excellent. And so you just got to be wary. Sometimes you can use them to get a elevated position, but they're pretty obvious. So that'll give you a good point for what a tower looks like. Sometimes you'll see fountains on the map. They're usually not always marked, but sometimes they're a good reference point. They'll look like a little tiny fountain that you can't really miss it.
043, 046 is an example of one.
Hey, I got a quick question. Regarding bridges, can they be blown up with demo charges and such?
Yeah, they can.
It depends. A lot of times they can. Let's see here. Alright, and the only other thing, let's see, what other training features?
Sorry, what did you say the fountain was? That's just somewhere you can get water, or?
It's generally just a good reference point if you're assaulting a village and, you know, you tell someone we're just south of the fountain. A lot of times
Alright,
fountains
copy.
are actually on the map, so it'll be, you know, a good way so you can tell where people are, or you can tell people where you are. All right. Now what we're going to do is actually move on to route planning. You guys can go out, get out of your maps. Okay. Now, for route planning, there's multiple ways you can do that. The first way is what's called dead reckoning, right? Basically, you take a bearing to a point and walk directly to that point regardless of terrain features and intervening obstacles, right? Downside to dead reckoning is it's fairly easy to get off your path due to, you know, external circumstances, i.e. Physical attributes, and one leg being shorter than another, you actually will unconsciously turn in one direction. Granted, that's not something you got to worry about in ArmA, but it'll happen. Unbalanced loads can cause you to turn off your course. Weather, because most people tend to shy away from rain or bright sunlight and stuff like that, and that could throw you off your course. Dead reckoning in ArmA is generally fairly easy to keep on your course. A good way to get places is to zero in on a landmark and just go ahead and approach that landmark. So it's very hard to get actually thrown off your path if you're doing that. I.e., say I wanted to go bearing 300, right, to that clearing. So I'd actually look at that clearing as I'm moving. So, of course, I'd get there, right? But say you are trying to get halfway across the map. So what you do is you take a bearing, okay, top of that hill, that's where I'm going. You'd move to the top of that hill, take another bearing, get another landmark, move to that landmark, so on and so forth. All right, that's your basic usage of dead reckoning. All right. Next thing is what's called hand railing. All right. Say I need to get. Let me pull up my map real quick. I want to get to Mogilevka, which is our direct east, right? Well, I'm gonna follow a terrain feature to get there, right? That's called hand railing. So I know if I head east and stay on the slopes of these hills, it will take me right around to Mogilevka. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I.e., you're using the hill as a handrail to get you there. All right. Next one is obtain a back bearing. All right. So say I know Castle Zub is to our northwest. Hold on here. Let me get a bearing. All right. You see the tower over there at our northwest? That's Castle Zub.
Copy that.
Castle Zub is, let's see, almost 050.
Yep.
So it'd be about 220 back bearing. Oh, shoot. Hold on. My computer's being stupid. Give me one moment.
240.
Yeah, I'm always bad with math. So. My ArmA tabbed out on me. Give me a second to get back in.
Hey, Upchuck, it's God Hand. Just came back. I'll have that list for you in a second if you still need it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, throw that in file browser. I'm just finishing up with techniques for moving around, so we should be able to get to the class soon.
Cool.
Or get the exercise, yeah. All right, so since you know Castle Zub is at a bearing of 240 to you. Oh, shoot. I've never used a back bearing, so I'm actually not sure how to use that. Look it up.
Just take 180 off. Just take 180 off your wherever you're looking, and it'll give you the back bearing.
Yeah, it's just I've never used a back bearing in actual navigation, so I've used it plenty of time to like, you know, for other things, just not nav. So that one I can't really do for you. But
Object, you know the left add, right subtract rule, right?
yeah, I know. Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. You can't really use a back bearing when actually moving. That was my bad. I read a part before I should have. Moving on. Considerations for moving through the terrain. For non-tactical, you know, i.e., terrain that's going to be between you and your destination. Like, say you've got a lake that's between you and where you're going. One way to get around that is the right angle method. So that means when you get up to that lake, you're going to turn either left or right 90 degrees, move forward, say 50 meters until you can clear it, turn right or left depending which way you go 90 degrees, move until you clear that lake, turn right or left again depending on which way you moved, move back the 50 meters, and then turn back on your heading you're going. All right, so that way you can maintain your heading and you're pretty much on the direct opposite of where you went. Who doesn't understand how I explain that?
Me.
All right, just a quick example using Yaxo Quill here as a demonstration. Okay, Quill here is my my obstacle, and I'm heading this way. Shoot, I need to get around, so I will turn 90 degrees, go X distance that I've measured out, turn 90 degrees
understand.
again,
Yeah.
go another until I've passed him, turn 90 degrees back, go
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
same distance back, and then boom, I'm back on my
Gotcha.
heading.
Actually, you were turning 45 degrees, but that's good.
It was
that's handy.
technicalities. I knew where I'm going. All right, that's basically some of your main considerations. You want to always consider your intervening terrain so that you have a system in your mind to get around it. Because a lot of times, if you're going down a hill, human instinct is to turn and face directly down the hill instead of going across the hill. So that might throw you off your track. Another human instinct is to move towards the sun as you're moving, so it might throw you off. Again, considerations in ArmA you don't have to worry about, but a lot of things in ArmA you do have to worry about are depressions, valleys, lakes, anything else that might happen to show up and actually throw you off your course. Tactical considerations, movement through an open field may not be a good thing, so you might have to do the 90-degree thing I showed you so you don't end up exposing yourself. You don't want to travel on a ridge, again, you'll expose yourself. You know, you always want to think, okay, if I move through this terrain, how will it affect me and how will it affect the enemy in detecting me and me detecting them? Obviously, if you move through a forest, you're more camouflaged, but so is the enemy. If you move through a field, any enemy in a concealed position may see you. If you move through high grass, it may partially obscure you, but you're still pretty exposed. You know, it's stuff like that you want to keep in the back of your mind, so as you move, you're not exposing yourself to unnecessary danger and risk. All right. One thing we're going to show you is how to find your position using the map, using your compass, and just kind of moving around. All right. One good way is using landmarks. So if we look up there and we see Castle Zub, right, and we see a hill to our 150, we can sit there and look at the map and kind of guesstimate where we are, right?
Yep.
Now, what you can do to be even more precise is gain a bearing on Castle Zub. Okay. Use your roamer. Okay, so what you'll do is, okay, I know where Castle Zub is. Hit H, put your roamer on Castle Zub. Okay. Now, you know what bearing Castle Zub was, so click on your roamer so that it's pointing on the back bearing of Castle Zub. Got that?
Yeah, hold on.
All right. Anyone? If you haven't done that, just speak up. Let me know. Because earlier we found out the back bearing is 240. So remember, you want to get that line on the 240 marker. Okay, you got that?
Yep, got it.
All right. Now move the roamer so that the ruler is over Castle Zub and it's pointing off in our direction, and then use the lines like I told you or showed you earlier to make a straight line moving along that ruler. Got it?
Can you repeat that, please?
All right,
Sure.
you're gonna use the mouse. All right, once you've got it on the bearing, and move it so that the ruler is on top of Castle Zub, and you're gonna use that ruler to make sure you get a straight line along the roamer to create a line moving on your map from Castle Zub in to the direction of 240 degrees. Got it?
Right, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, got
Now, exit your map real quick and take a bearing at that hill at 150. All right. Calculate your back bearing. Go into the map and do the same thing with that hill. All right. Place the roamer on it. Put it to the back bearing. Move it so the ruler's on that hill and draw a line. Now, where those lines intersect should give you an almost exact position. Should go right over the home position and give you an idea where you are.
What's happening?
But we're just doing the nav course. So, all right. So did y'all get Did everyone get an intersecting line?
Yeah, just about.
All right. Speak up when you're done. If you did not, let me know so I can help you out with that.
Done.
Okay, I think I got it.
Total done.
Currently having trouble drawing a straight line, but as I can imagine, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. If you're having trouble drawing a straight line, but your lines would have intersected, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Basically, that is a very basic way of just doing triangulation, right? You've got 2 points. You figure the angles from those points, and where they where the lines from those points intersect. Boom, you've got your position, right? If you have 2 known points or you see 2 landmarks and you can get bearings on them, you can get back bearings and figure out pretty closely where you are on the map. All right. Any questions on the triangulation? All right. Now what we're gonna do is here in a second I'm gonna grab the exercise from God Hand. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna load you in a helicopter, go drop you off at a point, and give you all each a. In fact, actually, I'm gonna split you all into teams so you can help each other. So, split yourselves into teams. I'll let you choose whoever you want to be your partner. I'll be back in 1 second once I've got the information.
Disregard.
What?
All right, Jones.
What
You wanna go
side
with me?
things?
Yeah, I'd love to go with anybody.
Let's do it then.
Irish?
Sounds excited.
Let's do it.
So,
Roger that.
somebody
I fought my buddy.
switches.
I'm gonna cry.
Against teams of 3 because we've got equal numbers for that.
What I want everyone to do is we're gonna move to that Merlin there, and I'm gonna fly you to a random point in the map. When I drop you off, I'm gonna give your team a coordinate to move to. When you get to that coordinate, there should be a sign which will give you your next coordinate. Once you've done about 2 or 3 coordinates, you'll get to a sign which will give you a passphrase. Once you get that passphrase, you will radio to me, and I will come pick you up and let you know if you completed the course correctly. All right. One of you all in each team, I want you to go to the radio or to the gearbox and get a long-range radio.
I got it.
Should be Tassel Irish Amigos is the next group.
Okay, fuck it. Next team, the grid to go to will be 03620805.
Copy that, 03620805.
Correct.
Coming down.
Object might want to go have one team stay in the helicopter and take the rest.
Yeah.
Cool. We already know where we are.
Yeah, Southern Airport. Where's our target?
Okay, so 036. Uh, 080.
What the fuck?
That's a long way away.
Yeah, that can't be right.
What the?
That's a long fucking walk.
About 5 kilometers. Even more.
At least 6.
Pick
No,
slow.
we can pretty much have
Big
to
water.
where we are.
Because it's about just about 6 grid squares north, so. Right, well. Guess we'd better plan a route and get walking. I've marked a direct just line, and it goes through Kozlovka and then past the east side of Green Mountain. So those could be 2 landmarks we can use.